And before the commitments, Ray Fiennes and the Almeida Theatre travel to Moscow for tonight's Art House.
In Moscow in 1887, the young Anton Chekhov attended the premiere of his first full-length play, Ivanov. It was a disaster. The cast improvised their lines and were even drunk on stage. The critics were hostile. But 110 years later, the production of Ivanov at the Almeida Theatre in London, with Ray Fiennes in the lead, proved such a triumph that the company were invited to take the play back to Moscow. Can they sustain their success, or will the ghosts of the first Ivanov come back to haunt them?
Good morning, Almeida.
I've got plenty of
Sold out way back in January and traded. Yeah. So no, don't make a long journey from the country, it's not worth it.
Some people slept overnight on the pavement. Some flew across the Atlantic in the hope of squeezing into the tiny theatre in a North London side street.
Right, go to the bar.
This is going to be a very big day.
The Ray Fiennes factor had a lot to do with it, but the word had got around that all the cast were brilliant. This was an ensemble production, with everyone earning £200 a week, whether ingenue or movie star. But no one can be sure whether the informal atmosphere created in the Almeida will be appropriate for a grand Russian theatre.
It's in itself theatrically perverse that we are taking a great Russian play, which hasn't had the highest of reputations here, nor we believe in Russia, to the heart of Russia, and he is their greatest playwright. I mean, that's almost surreal, and that in itself is extremely exciting. That sort of makes you feel that you're living, really. There's nothing, there are no preconditions, so we'll just see.
This
is the blind leading the blind. He's got this list of words. He's got suitcase, bag, accordion.
In the later plays, Chekhov learnt to sort of coat everything with his great humanity, and somehow in this play it's rougher. We move from high comedy to tragedy, to melodrama, but instead of segueing gently from one to the other, he just puts them next to each other, so it's like riding a bucking bronco or something. It has a sort of that's what's exhilarating about it. You go from almost farce to tragedy like that.
Well, it has a history for me because I played it before at RADA, not very well, and in an older translation. So for me it's special because I'm coming back to something and having another go at it. David Hare's trod this extraordinary line of translation into a new play, still being faithful to the main, well, it's very faithful to the Chekhov. And I think everyone feels it's special because somehow, in a way, a new Chekhov's been discovered.
Oh, well. Reef was on.
There's always a clever way to get the audience in.
The Almeida was built as a scientific lecture hall in the 19th century. Its cramped tattiness, without proper dressing rooms or even a backstage area, give Almeida Productions a special intimacy. The contact between public and performer is unusually intense. Ivanov waits for the audience to settle.
Watch the steps. It's the glamour of the theatre, you see. We won't have to do this in Moscow. I hope.
Have a good one. See you on this one. Has it started or has it just gone quiet? Yeah, that's what it started. Because the music isn't there. I hate it. I don't think the music is there. I hate it when that happens. Bang!
Yeah, there we go. Okay. There we go. Right, just in time.
Good luck. Have fun, guys. Have a good one. Yeah.
Ivanov is a landowner who was once driven by the desire to change the world. But now he feels old and defeated at 35. Chekhov was in his 20s when he wrote Ivanov. He'd experienced depression, and his main character is crippled by the disease.
Oh my God, what on earth are you doing? Bang! Misha, honestly, you know what my life's like.
I know, I do know.
Then why do you do it? Why do you do these things?
All right,
You seem to get some sort of pleasure.
I'll never shoot you again.
Thank you. I'm trying to read.
It sometimes can be difficult for an audience to have an evening with Ivanov, because there must be times when they want to say, for fuck's sake, cheer up, pull yourself together. But of course, that's what people say to you when you're depressed, and that's what you say to yourself when you're depressed. And Chekhov absolutely puts his finger on that.
I do have to ask you, please don't stop me. Don't stop me going out. I know it's selfish, but forgive me. I need this selfishness. It must be allowed. As soon as the sun goes down, my own home begins to oppress me. I become consumed with anguish. And why, if only I knew. I feel terrible here. I go to the Lebyedevs, I feel worse. I come home, I feel worse still, and so it goes. I am desperate.
Nikolai, why not stay? We'll talk, as we used to talk. Let's eat together and read.
Now we call it clinical depression, you know. Oh, that's what it is. Fine, we can deal with it, put it one side. But of course, clinical depression is only a name, you know, an approximation for so many things that are going on inside. And he's in a state of intellectual, moral, physical perhaps, certainly spiritual chaos. And so is the world that he's operating in.
Pass.
I was terrified of making the performance too big, and, you know, I said, it seems ridiculous now, but I remember a day in rehearsals when I said to Jonathan, I don't want to just come on and be a funny turn. I mean, these are very much the comic characters, but they're a glimpse of the life going on around Ivanov, and if he lives amongst these people, you can see why he gets so depressed. I mean, they're so racist and petty-minded and obsessed with money. But they're all bored and desperate, you know. So I hope that it's not just a big performance and that she is showing off because she's at a party. And, I mean, Jonathan wanted us to be totally committed in the moment, and you have to be brave to do that. But I do worry sometimes that, you know, especially when people say to me in the bar afterwards, what a brave performance, and I think, oh, went over the top again.
Oh, and now one may yawn in front of ladies.
I'm sorry, I forgot myself.
2 darts.
Pass.
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 Lord Jesus, the tedium, it's as if one had actually died.
I just think there's a cemetery, right, in one of the convents where they're all buried, Chekhov and Stanislavski, all of them, Gogol. It says, the artistic roll call starts in plot 2 with a tragedy, for when historians examined the grave of Nikolai Gogol, they found claw marks inside the coffin, proving that he had been buried alive following a cataleptic fit.
Ooh.
Pretty creepy, hmm? And Chekhov and Stanislavski are buried side by side.
When we get back from Moscow, you won't need any of us.
No.
It'll all be there. It'll all be there. When you get back from Moscow. All right. See you later, boys.
Have a good
Yes.
one.
See you at the party.
There must be a Patterson house.
She's a Patterson
Yes, there are
house.
Patterson.
We can only hope.
They're waiting for you.
Subtle Scottish.
Mrs. Patterson's in it.
Oh,
Is
is
she?
she?
Ah, well, that's it then.
She'll laugh.
What a prima donna! What on earth do you think you're doing hiding in here? These are your guests. You must mingle.
Oh, God, what an unendurable life we do live. Gavrila? Oh, but look who's here. Radiance, beauty, and laughter sitting among us. How are you, you gorgeous piece of nougat?
Happy to be here.
Oh, and we are happy to have you. Happy, happy. So, very well, I could do with a vodka.
Oh, good health, sir.
Oh, health? Well, I'm alive. That's all one can say. Well, needless to say, he's already married. Oh, and one other small detail, he's also gone off his head.
Who can you mean?
Yes, well, naturally, I am talking about Ivanov.
A good man, but look at him. Desperately unhappy. Well, is it any surprise? Oh, well, it's his own fault. How could he? What an obvious disaster marrying a Jew. And as usually doesn't pay off. All he wanted was to get his hands on little Sarah Abramson's fortune, but the parents were ahead of him. They cut her off that day she changed her religion. As soon as she changed her name, he should have foreseen it. Now the poor man's lumbered.
Mother, that is simply not true. Oh, my dear, I think one may say it is commonly accepted.
Is it?
It is fairly obvious. Why else would anyone marry a Jew? Are you telling me there aren't enough nice Russian girls? No, the sad thing is,
It's not him that suffers. She does. He tortures her. Because he knows he's made a mistake. He comes home, he shouts, it's your fault. Your parents have swindled me. Harriet, get out of my house.
Slagging me off again.
Where can she go? The family won't have her. I suppose you could.
Wonder how that will go down.
Hey, what a pity.
Yeah.
how dare you slander this man when he's done you no harm?
Now, if you'll allow me, dear Sasha, now, I respect Ivanov as much as you do. He's welcomed me into his home. But you can hardly deny, through the whole region, the man is known as a scoundrel.
I see, and that's your idea of respect.
Oh, I'm sorry, there's evidence. We all know. In short,
Oh, really?
It's true. Ivanov bought a herd of cows.
This is nonsense.
During the cattle epidemic, and then to make money, he infected them himself.
The scheme was obviously Borkin's. He had Borkin written all over it. When Ivanov found out, he was furious.
I think she's a very Russian character. I don't think there's anything English in her at all, which is something that I really struggled with. She's very strong, and she's very outspoken, and there's quite a kind of... I've just finished reading Crime and Punishment, and one of the characters in that is very similar to her. So I think to kind of locate her in that really helps. There's a whole Russian tradition of women who really believe in love and in the power of that, not as some kind of hippie-ish idea, but as this incredibly powerful emotion that can actually change people's lives.
I love you, Nikolai Alexeyevich. I'll follow you anywhere, to the ends of the earth, wherever, to the grave. Only soon, only now, or else I'm going to die.
I can't believe it. To hear those words, to start again. Is there hope again, Sasha? Is there happiness? Oh, my sweet youth. My sweet, lost youth. Yes. We live again, yes? we start work again. Yeah?
I think it's just wonderful, and I'm completely wrong. I've never been able to see how to do it, because it's always worried me that Ivanov is just depressed all the way through. And it's always seemed to me that the society around him was rather caricatured in the Russian. And I have to say, I think David Hare's text is better than Chekhov's. But David Hare has seen things in that text that I couldn't see, and he's made the most wonderful play out of it. It's absolutely astonishing production. And a most hideously plausible version of Russian 19th century rural society. I'm sure that's what it was like. That's what it was like. What a nightmare.
But will this English vision of an imagined Russia convince an audience in Moscow?
To Moscow!
Russians, yeah.
Absolutely.
Not nearly cold enough.
Very nice. Well, there's lots more in there. And some champagne. And thank you all very, very much.
The roller coaster production is on the road. Soon the actors will discover whether their version of Russia is one the Russians can recognize.
Someone happy, make just one someone happy.
Introducing the latest 3 for 2s this Christmas at Boots.
Nescafe Gold Blend. Coffee uniquely roasted for a golden aroma and a richer, smoother taste. It's a coffee to savor while you're waiting for an invitation. Whatever next?
Don't put it off. Put it on. Barclaycard.
The new multifunction Bosch electric scraper puts technology at your fingertips. It removes anything from tile adhesive to putty and wall plaster, effortlessly, and with easy-to-attach accessories, can carve and chisel wood. Bosch, excellence comes as standard.
Now then, where's that great big sloppy bit? Ah, there it is.
Häagen-Dazs. Buy one, get one free.
We've been making wine since the Romans were here.
We've been making beer since the Romans were here.
The Maly Theatre was built for the Tsars alongside the Bolshoi. This visit is cultural diplomacy in action, subsidized by the British Council and an American corporation.
How do you say, where do you live?
Где вы живете?
Где вы живете?
Живете.
Живете. Где вы
живете?
живете? Саша.
В Москве.
В Москве.
В Москве. На Причистенке.
Fiennes fever has spread to Moscow. The English patient is in town, and 100 journalists come to greet him.
Что для актера важнее, успех картины, которую в России после премьеры посмотрит большое количество зрителей, или успех спектакля, адресованный меньшему количеству людей?
Well, my sense of it is that the play is happening tonight. It's present. It's a piece of work that's alive. For me, the film of The English Patient is finished. It's made. It's out there. I have no part in it anymore. But I'm part of an event that's happening in the present tonight, the next 2 nights. So, of course, the success, the immediate response to that is much more important to me than how The English Patient is.
How does acting on stage compare to acting in films like The English Patient and Schindler's List?
If I had to choose?
Yes, yes.
If I had to choose, I hope I would choose theatre.
Я надеюсь, что я выбрал бы театр. And why?
Because it seems to me the truest form of acting. You're acting in a continuum of time, in the framework of a play or a performance or a happening, whatever you want to call it. And above all, it's the interaction with the audience, which is so strong, which is, I think, a way of provoking people's hearts and minds and spirits about the world they live in, about the human condition. There is nothing, I believe, so powerful as a successful, collaborative act of theatre between actors and audience. It is one of the most powerful forms we have.
When the English Ivanov steps on stage, there is no one there to protect him. As the first Ivanov discovered more than 100 years ago. The Maly is a very different theatre from the 300-seat Almeida. It's a 1,000-seater, built to stage the plays of Gogol and Ostrovsky, and now the self-conscious protector of the Russian classic tradition.
Yes, I know, it's true. I'm sure it's all my fault. You're right, but I'm confused. I'm what? I'm possessed. Is that right? Is that the right word? How do I put this? I lack strength. That's it. I lack the strength to lift myself up. The truth is, I've ceased to understand anyone, anything.
Oh, if I could just win that lottery. A small win, not even a big one, the things I could do, the places I'd show you. I'd be off your hands, not be back in this house till Judgment Day. Ah, Moscow.
Then on to Paris.
An English-speaking culture does a Russian play and takes it to Russia. It's more than just about getting ticks in the box or marks out of 10 for how you did it. It's much more than this, much more fundamentally about human groups linking up and celebrating their differences and things that they want to share. I like the way that theatre is taken very seriously, as if it's a necessity for life, alongside food and I mean, there's so much economic difficulty around, but the theatres are functioning and the life of the theatre is discussed, and I find that very exciting.
Wait. No. Can you tell them not to do anything, please? Because we know what we're doing. I know it doesn't look as though we're doing what we do. Говорит, не надо ничего делать. Trust me. You may look like. Говорит, ничего не делать.
For their first encounter with a Russian audience, the Almeida Company have encouraged theatre professionals and drama students to a special preview.
Спасибо, that's everything. Thank you.
But with language as a barrier and their play in alien surroundings, the company begin to realize just how challenging this is going to be.
Если вам бинокль идет, чудесный спектакль. Это темные картины, это плохо видно.
there. There's one bit there that's cool.
Yeah?
Fine, yeah.
Sorted. Thank you.
I'll do.
Their greatest fear is that their intimate production will be lost in the vast space of the Imperial Theatre. 3 months of triumph in London could be followed by disenchantment in Moscow.
I don't quite believe I'm here yet, but I will. I don't quite believe I'm doing the play tonight, but I am. It'll all be clear by midnight.
What on earth are you doing? Bang! You know what my life's like. Yeah, I know, I do. What do you do? All right, I promise.
Could you hear me? I need to get some makeup on, a little bit on first. Shall I be a sec? I'll go and give you a problem. No, I'll come back. Okay. Jane?
Try to sing, try to dance, anything. Get angry, I don't mind the stage. Have a drink, laugh, shout. We'll drive your anguish away. I'll sing for you. We'll lie in the hay. We'll sit in the study in the dark, as we once sat in the dark, and you can talk about your unhappiness. Your eyes are so full of suffering. I will look into them and cry. We'll both feel better. How does it go, that song? The flowers return in spring, but not the joy. That's it, isn't it? Well, then go.
Pray for me, Anna. I can't stay. I can't.
Then go!
Listening to on the tannoy, there's this kind of echo coming off. Suddenly everyone's in this vast space, and we're used to being in a tiny little theatre that's so comfortable and cosy.
There was a lot of coughing and rustling. You know, you didn't feel.
Yeah.
Of course, why shouldn't they be maybe whispering to one another the meaning or whatever it is?
Yeah.
And so you felt you had to grab attention,
Right.
which the whole point in London was you never had to grab attention. It was just there.
Right.
Greetings, young friend.
Young? Come now, I suppose you're going to start claiming to be old.
I could hardly still hope to call myself young.
Oh, please, it's only a name that you're a widow, Papa. I know you're more attractive than any young girl.
What on earth are you serving the tea without sweetening, Gavrila? Tea is nothing without jam. A gooseberry, perhaps?
Oh, no, thank you, no gooseberry.
Are you sure?
Thanks, but no thanks all the same.
With less than half the audience understanding English, the actors feel they're struggling for attention. But the silent yet impressive presence of Sam Beasley as the servant Gavrila is warmly rewarded.
How did you get here?
It's quite different when you're sort of doing things with that slight dramatic,
right?
Lifting it up a bit, you know, and it feels completely different. You begin to feel you're a different character, you know,
really?
because the character you were was so sort of at ease somehow.
It spoils all your time.
It's just difficult to know. I don't know, but it's fine. It's fine. They laughed more than I thought they'd laugh. Laugh you. That was a laugh at the old lady. So they like money. Jonathan, are we shouting? No. We're not. No,
Okay. You wouldn't be worrying if you were really feeling in there. You're not feeling right inside it. That's what you're feeling. I bet you'll be brilliant.
And the most troubling question of all, are these extremes of melodrama and high comedy the way the Russians think Chekhov should be played?
Hello! Good morning! Is Nikolai home? Not yet. Oh, well then. Goodbye. Oh, I'm so busy. I can't tell you. I'm completely worn out.
Where have you blown in from?
I had a night at Barabanov's. Really just finished. Played the whole night. Right through the night. Lost every penny. Barabanov's useless. I can't. I'll tell you.
Thanks, but if it's all the same to you...
I'll describe the situation so you really understand. I'm holding Hearts. He plays a diamond.
Oh, please.
I play another heart, he plays another diamond. Well, inevitably, I don't have to tell you. I don't take a trick. Now, all right. We start playing 4 clubs. I have the ace, the queen, 6 others, 10, 3 of spades.
I literally cannot endure this.
Really, this is interesting.
Go away! We don't want to know!
It's textbook. I have the ace, the queen, 6 others, and suddenly disaster.
If you don't shut up, I will shoot!
Ah, I see. That's how things are going. Oh, well, that's how things are now. Suddenly, we're all living in Australia. Live your own life, pursue your own interests, damn the other man, and no common culture.
Yeah, real stuff. It's also the sound is weird on the stage, so you're not... It is strange, you don't have a sense of it. No, I tell you, behind that wall, waiting.
The first night concludes with questions from the audience. A theatrical crowd, difficult to impress.
Ну, это именно понимаю, это видение чеховских героев или в таком представлении вообще русские люди?
At some moments, I was struck by a very strong historical element in the performance. Is that your attitude to Chekhov's character, or is that your attitude to the Russians?
I don't quite know exactly what you mean by hysterical, but they are characters acting in extremis. So it wasn't no, it's not about, it's about these specific people in this situation.
I think one of the things we find difficult to understand is the inertia, melancholy, boredom, depression in the play and in some of Chekhov, and which our translator has often translated by more active words. So melancholy has often become anguish. And this is a sort of answer to both, that some of our hysteria may be because we can't sit back on the boredom and melancholy. We don't trust it. We don't quite understand it.
Я бы хотела сказать не вопрос, а просто свое мнение. Я актриса и видела Иванова, значит, в исполнении...
I want to just express my opinion. I'm an actress, and I've seen Ivanov performed by many Russian actors, including Smaktanovsky, Leonov, and other famous actors. And it was very interesting for me to come and see the British performance of this play.
Хочу сказать, что на какой-то минуте я абсолютно забыла.
And there was the moment when I completely forgot there was the language barrier, and I don't speak English. And I became so much involved with what was going on stage that I completely forgot that it was a performance from a foreign country. So there are some human values, some human qualities that we can share together without knowing each other's language.
someone happy. Make just one someone happy. Make one heart the heart you sing to. Make someone happy. Make just one someone happy. You will be happy too.
Play Santa with your Boots Advantage card this Christmas, and everyone can have a treat, especially you.
Make someone happy this Christmas.
Great. Telly for the bedroom.
Come to Comet.
For millions, this is the greatest voice the world has ever known. Maria Callas. The ultimate collection from the greatest diva of them all. Maria Callas is the voice of the century.
Glen of tranquility.
BT only charge 1p per minute for a local call at the weekend. Just 1p. And it's even less with BT's friends and family. Has the penny dropped? BT, it's good to talk.
A pilgrimage to Chekhov's estate enables the actors to put their anxieties behind them, to rebuild their confidence.
Red gates, the entrance there, and so it goes to the monument to Chekhov.
They discover the army planting a cherry orchard.
I am able to block out all this stuff and think of him living there. Food was made there, then he'd be called into lunch. Yeah, I'm in the middle of Act 2. This is the house where he wrote The Seagull.
And you've been in The Seagull?
Twice. Yeah. In Act 4, when Nina comes back, she hovers around the house and looks through the windows and doesn't dare come in. And I suddenly felt this exactly, you know, I'm looking through the window at this house and it's a romantic thought, but I was feeling romantic.
At the Moscow Arts Theatre, where most of Chekhov's great plays were first performed, the cast confront their Russian predecessors.
That's the Three Sisters, Marshall and the Three Sisters.
Really?
Yes, I don't think they held that character act.
Their confidence might grow with each night of the run, but they're always in the shadow of the Russian tradition.
You look for the bulbous nose that is constantly referred to, and the squashed blueberry. Black and white doesn't bring it out, but I suggest he hasn't gone for that too much. Very sober-looking Lebedev. It is wonderful. There's a weight about him. I've always thought that you needed that weight. I think you need weight to play people like Lebedev.
Пожилые люди, которые в этом спектакле участвуют, вот актер Билл Паттерсон, который играл Лебедева, актеры, которые играли дядю, Боркина, вот это трио, они создавали ту изумительную атмосферу этого спектакля, совершенно специфическую, которая делала это зрелище бесконечно радостным и интересным для меня. Но я бы сказал, что весь остальной театральный язык, он как бы не создавал контрапункта. Этот прекрасный актер, который играл главную роль, он был на уровне текста. Здесь я видел, в общем, довольно слабого психопатического человечка, который мне не был особенно интересен.
Again, I cannot believe it. Once more you have turned my study into a tap room. I have asked you 1,000 times. Look, there's vodka all over my papers. There's crumbs, gherkins. It's disgusting.
Well, it's my fault entirely, and I apologize, but I have got serious things to discuss.
I was here first. I did
I got a lesson to everyone.
Он с самого начала задавлен жизнью. Он с самого начала уже погружен в свои мысли. Он сгорблен, несмотря на то, что сам Fiennes как бы совершенно нормальный. Но и там же есть любовь, там есть увлеченность Сашей. И он не мог в этих сценах не распрямиться. Даже в любви он понимал с самого начала, что это все обречено. И это не имело развития.
Pasha? What's wrong with me?
Good question. I've not wanted to ask. I thought perhaps your troubles had got the better of you, but you are not that type. Normally you overcome misfortune, so it's something else. But
I don't know what. Me neither. Although sometimes I think I... Well, no, it's not that. The nearest I can get, I used to have a workman, Semyon he was called, do you remember? At harvest time, he wanted to show off in front of the girls, so he loaded 2 sacks of rye at once. He strained his back, and he died soon after. That's how I feel, as if my back has been broken. School, university, agriculture, village education, civic projects. I mean, from the start, I was set on doing everything differently. And I married differently. I took more risks. I used my own money. I threw it away. I was happier and unhappier than anyone else in the region. But these things, they were like sacks. I loaded them on my back, and now it's snapped.
Сейчас половина земного шара больны, так сказать, вот этой в разных формах, проявлениях, болезнью, то, что называется депрессией. Это когда теряется вкус жизни, когда человек не видит смысла этой жизни. И вы понимаете, вот в те годы Чехов, конечно, именно это, так сказать, затронул в Иванове, и в основном в его, так сказать, фигуре, так сказать, сосредоточена, что ли, вся эта проблема. И эти попытки его выйти из этой депрессии, найти себя, найти опять вот этот смысл жизни. И Fiennes это делает очень хорошо, прекрасно. Это он делает глубоко, разнообразно. И поэтому мне представляется, что это спектакль именно в уровень всех остальных, так сказать, серьезных чеховских пьес. Вот так.
What was she doing here? I need to know, why did she come here?
Don't ask.
What was she doing here?
I am profoundly guilty. Punish me any way you choose, but please don't ask any more. I've no strength to tell you.
Now I see, now I begin to see you. At last I see the kind of person you are. A man without honor.
No!
You came to me and lied. I gave up my religion, my family. I even gave up my name. You talked to me about goodness and truth. You told me you loved me. But the words were dirt, and I believed every word.
I have never lied to you.
I have lived here with you for 5 years. I have suffered and grown ill, but I did not stop loving you for one moment. You were my God, and all that time you have been deceiving me.
Anna, accuse me of anything but not of dishonesty. I have never once lied in my life. Accuse me of anything but not of dishonesty.
Everything now makes sense to me. You married me because you thought my parents would give in.
No.
You thought I'd inherit.
Oh, my God, Hannah, please, no, don't torment me.
Be quiet now. You have a fresh plan now. Everything is clear to me. I understand everything. You have never loved me. I've never been faithful. Never.
Anna, these are lies. Say what you feel, but don't degrade me with lies.
Look at that dishonest. You owe money to Lebedev, so now you're going to seduce his daughter. You want to trick her just as you tricked me. That's the...
Please, Anna, be quiet.
I will not be quiet.
I beg you, say nothing else. This anger is killing me. I am going to insult
All
you.
the time you pleaded innocence. You manipulated us all. You put schemes in Porkin's head and blamed
Be silent! I beg you, be silent. I cannot stop myself. These words will burst out of me, you dirty Jew.
I will never be silent. Never again. Not after what you've said to me. Not after what you've done.
You refuse to be silent in the name of God.
Go off and start swindling Lebedev.
You are going to die. I have spoken to the doctor. You are going to die very soon.
When did he say that?
Oh, my God. The evil. How evil I am.
Здесь была серьезная попытка понять русского человека. Здесь, конечно, режиссеры, актеры добивались определенной атмосферы, очень важной. Люди были немножко карикатурные, но все равно они были достойны. То есть видно было, что актеры и режиссер стараются играть русских людей, но изнутри. Изнутри. Вот, и вот на этот взгляд, мне кажется, это победа. Это победа. Я порадовался. Я порадовался, что на нас сейчас гости с английского, с островов, вот, смотрят уже более мудрыми, более осмысленными глазами.
The critical response to the English Ivanov is mixed, but the ovation and flowers are more than a theatrical ritual. The energy and passion of the Almeida production has burst through to its Russian audience. The ghosts of the first Ivanov have been laid to rest.
It's been an amazing adventure, It's been 3 months, and it's been an odyssey. And this is the perfect ending. Perfect ending.
No, well, it's very moving to end up on the stage, obviously, in the Theatre of Moscow. I mean, it's fantastically moving because the idea, I would have thought, considering what a terrible flop it was at the first performance, the idea that it's being performed, and most of all performed by an English company in Moscow, it's completely extraordinary. And Ivanov is no more appreciated here in Moscow than it is in England. It's not part of the repertory. So to see it played here and received the way it's been received is quite extraordinary.
Я, к сожалению, вот не говорю по-английски. Да, очень жалко. Да, я сегодня как-то с каким-то особым волнением смотрела, потому что я же сама много лет играла эту роль. Да. Была в этой атмосфере, и я как бы заново окунулась в эту атмосферу, да. И очень такая молодец, и так трогательно, и глубоко проживает, и все так естественно. И у Чехова, как у Чехова, вот второй план.
And what did you feel was most important about playing Sasha?
А для вас что было самое важное насчет, вот, как вы играли Сашу?
Сашу. Любить.
Love, yes, because
love is the most important thing.
yes, because it's such a Russian thing. It's such a Russian.
Это такое русское чувство.
There's no hedge between the audience and the actor. It's completely, they understand the character completely because the character is completely Russian. Whereas the English, who are ironists and who refuse to admit that any bloody play is about them and always pretend that it's about other people, you know, have had a struggle with the character of Ivanov. And so it's wonderful to hear Rafe speak to the soul of the house without any little bit of, yes, this is very powerful, but it's not about me, which is what you get in England. You know?
We're killed by irony. Yeah, and you can't talk about, if you talk about the soul in England, everybody's toes go. It's embarrassing.
That's right.
Here, you know, they ask you questions in interviews about the soul. It's completely nonplussed. You know, wonderful.
I find it's very emotional to talk about because it's so extraordinary. But it was very nice. Well, I trotted on, I got around, you know, amazing. And then one man came up to me in the corridor and said, "You're very good, you remind me of Tolstoy." Now that's stunning.
And where is your director? Who staged it?
It's sitting there, Jonathan Kent.
It's you! It's you who did such a wonderful thing. It's you, producer.
Yeah.
My dear, bring Shakespeare. Will
I'd like to with him. We're going to do Coriolanus and Richard II.
You know what? We saw Paul Scofield, you know, Peter Brook brought Hamlet, King Lear. You know, we love Shakespeare, do bring such a wonderful company. You can manage. I want to tell you, listen, if you would. Oh, wonder, how many good creatures are there here? How beauteous mankind is. Oh, brave new world that has such people in it. Thank you.
Спасибо.
And God bless you, God bless you. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you. Fine. And Christ is risen. Tomorrow is our Easter. Christ is risen. Yes, God bless you. Do come back. We'll be happy to see you again. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Счастливо. До свидания. До свидания.
Thank you.
More kids.
Very much.
Take care. Всего хорошего.
Привет, Лондон!